Find out who the university is looking to hire that may be able to help you out.
Find out why this dress is made out of condoms.
And I'll tell you the weather forecast for the rest of the week, coming up tonight on UGA News Source.
The University of Georgia, more than 30,000 students, award-winning professors, groundbreaking research, world-class music, arts, and cultural programs, unparalleled community service. And now, a Grady College-produced news program devoted exclusively to the University of Georgia. This is UGA News Source.
A UGA employee might have found marijuana on campus. We'll tell you where. Good evening, I'm Meredith Martin.
And find out why UGA may be losing funding for research. I'm Maggie Sims, and you're watching UGA News Source. Research institutes like UGA are in danger of losing funding for their research. Jenna Sanford joins us at the desk. Jenna, why are we in danger?
Well, you know, it has a lot to do with the economy, and that was a big concern talked about today at the regional conference on the future of public research. Many legislators want to cut costs across the board when it comes to education, and many university officials disagree.
And the big mistake that you could make is in believing that when it's time to cut, when it's necessary to cut, that you cut across the board. I can't think of a worse thing to do.
That was keynote speaker Dr. Gregory Petsko. He says the state of human health depends on research here at UGA.
And the institutions that figure this out and launch programs that cut across disciplines to make major contributions early in dealing with this problem are going to reap enormous financial rewards, as well as being at the cutting edge of what I think is the next big crisis after global warming.
It's not just UGA that's affected. Universities outside of Georgia are facing the same problem.
Problem for all of us, privates, publics, everyone together. This is a national crisis that we're facing.
The future of research may be in danger, but Regina Smith is optimistic.
The future of research has always been and will continue to be a very, very positive one. I don't think that there is as much gloom and doom as one might think.
So what does this mean for the future and for students?
This is a world where understanding science and technology is going to be more and more important as time goes by, not less, and that in the end, people who do understand it are going to be the people who make contributions, who thrive, who prosper, and people who don't are going to be working for them.
It's interesting to point out that there are only 5 research conferences in the country. The next one's going to be on April 26th in Washington.
All right, well, thanks, Jenna. If you want to find out more about their conference, visit the website at aplu.org.
A bag of what is possibly marijuana was found yesterday in the instructional plaza between the journalism and psychology buildings. UGA custodian Florida Adams says she found a bag of what she thought was marijuana on a bench. She called her supervisor and showed her the bag before calling the police. She said she does not know who left the marijuana on the bench.
We want to have a drug-free campus.
Miss Adams says she has worked for UGA for 20 years and has never found drugs on campus before.
The University of Georgia Center for Continuing Education held a special conference today. Administrative Professionals Day conference was packed with practical tips to better manage their jobs. There were several breakout sessions, such as how to deal with difficult conversations for better communication. This presentation dealt with the impacting the productivity and effectiveness of an individual and a team. They even got tips on how to dress.
It's a celebration of all of us that work in the administrative field. It's been around since 1952, and it's kind of our special day in our particular profession. Just to we're kind of the behind-the-scenes people, and it's kind of a high five, a little pat on the back for us. So.
There was a time when the Dean of Students would patrol the streets and joke around with students. UGA News Source's Mackenzie Patterson joins us from the roof to tell us that now most students don't even know what a Dean of Students does. Mackenzie, what did you find out?
Well, it's been nearly 40 years since UGA has had a full-time Dean of Students. Ronnie Bennett is the current Dean of Students, but he's also the Vice President for Student Affairs. Now UGA is hoping to make the Dean of Students a full-time position once again.
Dr. Bill McDonald met with staff, faculty, and students this afternoon. He's a candidate for the new Dean of Students. But when we asked students what a Dean of Students does, most had no idea.
They control what happens to us. I don't know. I have no idea.
I guess maybe something to do with student affairs and stuff like that.
Some students did know, though.
There's 5 candidates, and over the next week or so, they're going to have, I guess, their interviews.
There was a time at UGA when students knew exactly who the Dean of Students was. William Tate was the last Dean of Students until 1971. Gilbert Head was a student under Dean Tate.
As much as he was identified with the university as a whole, it was really his interaction with the students that I think has probably fixed his place in history.
So why is the university trying to hire a new Dean of Students right now, especially with the possibility of budget cuts? And how will they exactly be able to help students? Dr. Burke is in charge of the committee interviewing candidates.
You can look at it's a new position in some ways, but it's not an add-on to historically to what we've had on campus.
Josh Delaney is the SGA president-elect.
So anytime there's an issue or initiative that we as students need to go to someone to talk to or need someone to fight on our behalf, the Dean of Students is who should be doing that.
Maybe the new Dean of Students will be able to leave their mark, just like Dean Tate.
There are still 3 candidates that are coming to UGA to undergo the interview process. Joyce Easter will be here this Friday, Julie Payne Kirkmeyer is on April 26th, and Michelle Howard is on April 29th. From the Grady College, I'm Mackenzie Patterson, UGA News Source.
All right, thanks a lot, Mackenzie. The committee is set to select the new Dean of Students by July 1st. We'll be sure to keep you updated.
You may have seen students walking around campus today with the word love on their arm. These students were raising awareness for those who are hurting. An organization called To Write Love on Her Arms is a nonprofit movement working to help victims of depression, addiction, self-injury, and suicide. They plan this event to encourage people in their struggles and help them realize that they are not alone. To find out more about To Write on Her Arms, check out their website at www.twloha.com.
A group of UGA students is spending the day in silence for a good cause. Casey Schneider, Christina Schatzing, Kelly Call, and Hema Patel are trying to raise awareness about the prevalence and pervasiveness of rape on and off campus. UGA Day of Silence participants are not speaking throughout the day to symbolize the silence of many rape victims.
And we decided that because so many women are silenced by their experiences, because society considers it taboo to talk about it in public, that we would honor them and give them a voice by going silent for a day.
After the break, we'll tell you about a campus event dedicated to your health.
And coming up, we'll tell you this week's weather and give you the latest on the Earth Week's events.